1,400 years ago, vampires had decided that the best way to ensure the survival of their species was for three elders, Viktor, Marcus, and Amelia, to leapfrog through time, one ruling while the other two slept, each being awakened at their appointed time according to a never-to-be-broken covenant. 1,000 years ago, Viktor started a war with Lycan. 600 years ago, Craven set the Great Blaze, which killed Lucian, a deed which earned Craven high favor with Viktor, who put Craven in charge of their coven. The Great Blaze caused the Lycans to scatter. Vampire death dealers, armed with silver bullets and shuriken, have been picking Lycans off one by one until very few remain. 3 death dealers, Celine, Rigel, and Nathaniel, followed 2 Lycans into a subway station in an unnamed European city. A gun battle ensues in which Rigel is killed, one of the Lycans gets away, and Nathaniel comes up missing. In the chaos, Celine makes 2 discoveries. 1. The Lycans have devised an ultraviolet bullet that can kill vampires, and 2. There appears to be a large band of Lycans amassing under the subway. Celine hurries back to alert the vampires at Craven's luxurious mansion that sits on the outskirts of the city, but they are more interested in the clothes they are going to wear at tonight's formal party with the coven from across the Great Ocean, in celebration of the upcoming awakening of Marcus by Amelia, the current reigning elder. Not interested in their gaiety, Celine views some digital photos Rigel took of the Lycans and notices that they appear to have been following a human. A computer search reveals the human is Michael Corvin, an intern at a local hospital. Meanwhile, the wounded Lycan, Reyes, has returned to the Lycan den with the bad news that he lost the candidate he was tailing, as well as to have the silver bullets and stars dug out of his body so that he can regenerate. Celine visits Michael Carvin's apartment. While snooping, she overhears a phone message about his involvement in some shootout. Now convinced that she is right about the Lycans stalking Michael, she tries to interrogate him just as his apartment is raided by a pack of Lycans. While Celine holds them off, Michael escapes in the elevator, but the doors open to a face-to-face confrontation with Lucian, the current leader of the Lycans. Celine attempts to shoot Lucian, but he is intent on biting Michael and spitting the blood into a vial which he takes to Singe, the Lycan doctor who has been researching humans with the last name of Corvin, so far with negative results. He analyzes Michael's blood and pronounces it positive. Celine and Michael make a getaway together in her car, but Celine has lost a lot of blood in her fight with the Lycans. She passes out and the car goes into a river. Michael saves her, binds her wound, then passes out himself. When Celine awakens, she takes the unconscious Michael back to the vampire's mansion, incurring the wrath of Craven, who wants Celine to be his future queen and is jealous that she seems smitten with Michael. When Michael finally comes to, he is face to face with vampire Erica, who realizes that Michael has been bitten and is becoming Lycan. Erica leaps to the ceiling and starts hissing at him. Terrified, Michael jumps out a window and escapes the vampire's mansion. Although it is forbidden to delve into the past, Celine decides to do a little reading about the history of the Vampire-Lycan War, particularly the chapter on the fall of Lucian. She notices that the Lucian in one of the pictures is wearing the same medallion that she noticed the current Lucian wearing during the fight at Michael's apartment. Could he and the Lucian that Craven supposedly killed 600 years ago be the same? Could Craven and Lucian be conspiring together? Could the fact that the Lycans are amassing near the vampire coven portend an attack on the vampires? When Erica informs Celine that Michael has been bitten and is turning Lycan, Celine has heard enough. Against the Covenant rules, Celine decides to awaken Viktor and ask for his guidance. Michael has begun having hallucinations and wants to know what is happening to him. Celine takes him to their Lycan interrogation room in the city so that he can hide for the night. She also gives him the good news: he has been bitten by a Lycan, and during the next full moon, tomorrow night, he will turn into one. The hallucinations, she tells him, are memories passed to him from Lucian. When Michael asks Celine why she cares about what's happening to him, "Do you intend to bite me, too?" Celine explains that the Lycan virus and the vampire virus are incompatible and no one has ever survived a bite by both species. When Michael asks her why she hates Lycans so much, she tells him how Lycans slaughtered her entire family and how Viktor arrived just in time to save her from the same fate. Viktor made her a vampire and then raised her like his own daughter. Celine then handcuffs Michael to a chair, gives him a gun with silver bullets, and advises him to use it on himself if she isn't back by tomorrow night. After Celine arrives back at the mansion, Viktor has fully awakened and is being briefed by Craven. When Viktor learns that he's been awakened a full century ahead of schedule, he is livid. Not even Celine's attempts to explain her findings appease him. In fact, Viktor basically tells Celine to let Craven handle this and that she will be judged by the council for breaking the covenant. Craven locks Celine in her room. The next night, it is the night of the full moon. It is time for Amelia's train to arrive, and Craven has ordered Soren and his team to fetch her and the council members. Erica, who has wanted to be Craven's mate for a long time, cuts the power to the main gate, allowing Celine to run to Michael. Celine releases Michael, but they are attacked by Lycans. Celine stays to fight while Michael jumps out a window. When Michael lands on his feet some 5 or 6 stories below, he is immediately captured by Lycans posing as cops. On the way to the Lycan den, Michael begins the change. The Lycans pull over, and they dose Michael with an enzyme to stop the change. Celine has captured Singe and brings him to Viktor, where Singe is forced to explain how, for years, the Lycans have been trying to combine the bloodlines. They've been testing descendants of Alexander Corvinus, a 5th-century Hungarian warlord who was the sole survivor of a plague that ravaged his village and turned him into the first immortal. From Corvinus's offspring, one became the vampire line, one became the Lycan line, and one remained human but carried the imprint of the original immortality virus hidden in its genetic code in dormant form and passed down through the ages to Michael Corvin. Lucian plans to inject himself with blood taken from Michael and from a powerful vampire elder, creating a hybrid, both Lycan and vampire, but stronger than both. Concerned that Emilia has not yet arrived, a group of vampires is sent to find out what's taking so long. They find that Emilia and the council members have all been assassinated, having been bitten by Lycans. In addition, Emilia's blood has been totally drained. When Viktor finds out, he orders Celine to kill Michael. Meanwhile, Michael is being held at the Lycan den, where his visions have suddenly become clear and he now knows what started the Vampire-Lycan War. Many years ago, Lycans were the Renfields for vampires, but it was forbidden for vampires and Lycans to fraternize. Lucian and Viktor's daughter Sonia fell in love and mated, creating a hybrid child that Viktor would not allow, so Viktor, placed Sonia, his own daughter, in the sun where she burned to a crisp while Lucian was made to watch his own daughter burned alive just for loving me, says Lucian poignantly, and Viktor has spent the last 600 years exterminating the Lycan species so the bloodlines will never blend. Craven knows he's been found out. He was indeed in league with Lucian. Together, they planned Lucian's death 600 years ago so that Lucian could lay low. Now the agreement is for Craven to gain control of both covens by obtaining an ironclad peace treaty with the Lycans, while Lucian gets revenge on Viktor. Time to knock off a few main characters. The vampires, along with Celine, Khan, and Viktor, storm the Lycan den in a climactic battle. Craven shoots Lucian with a silver nitrate bullet. The silver is in liquid form so that it will go directly into the Lycans' bloodstreams and cannot be dug out. When Michael tries to escape, he is also shot by Craven. As Michael lies oozing silver nitrate from his wounds, Craven tells Celine the true story about her dark father, Viktor. Her family wasn't killed by Lycans but by Viktor himself. Seems he didn't like the taste of livestock very much, so once in a while he would engorge himself on human blood. Since Celine reminded him of Sonia, he spared her and raised her as his own. Celine is stunned. When Craven demands that Celine go with him, she refuses. As he's about to shoot Michael again, the dying Lucian runs a sword through Craven's leg and tells Celine to bite Michael. Half vampire, half Lycan, they're stronger than both. Celine does it. Craven finishes off Lucian. Michael turns into a hybrid, Lycampire or Vampthrope. And, after Michael and Viktor tussle a bit, Celine cuts off Viktor's head. Celine flees the scene of the battle and is now hunted by both her people and the Lycans. Then she narrates that after the death of Viktor, another elder vampire, Marcus, awakened and will start hunting her in the future. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.